guys, my name is Shalom. If you are new, I do videos on pop culture, artists, all that good stuff. If you're returning, hey guys, how you doing? Show everyone around and how we do it around here. SZA has released a deluxe for SOS, and you know what? I listened to it, I let it marinate for a bit. Lana is cute, it's good. It's not as good as SOS. Like, it has nothing on my goods as SOS. Like, and what made it worse is that SZA, because what you have to think of, before SOS, you have to remember, SZA was basically like Normani, okay? You know how Normani is now, where Normani before Doping, where she used to release one song every year, one song every 2 years. That was SZA. There was a point where SZA would release one song every year. So she was like Normani until she released SOS, and that was like her big break, okay? And that's when, you know, her record label like, actually, let's let her release music because we're going to get so much money. She signed to RCA and I believe TDE as well. So TDE, I think they have like Doechii on that label as well, I believe. So yeah, she signed to RCA, like, which is like one of the worst record labels in my opinion for any person of color, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But if we go through the list of people of color who have signed to RCA, especially black people, and how, you know, their careers have went, you can do the research. For a deluxe, I think this was a bit late for a deluxe. You normally do them straight after the album, and we've waited about 2-3 years for this album. So SOS was released in 2022, I believe, and now we're in 2024, heading into 2025 when SZA wants to do an SOS deluxe. I feel like that was a bit late. Okay, and I feel like the only reason she was able to do that is because her fans have been feeding for it. Like, SZA, how she works is that she relies heavily on her fans to fiend for things. She relies heavily on her fans to buy things out. Like, she doesn't really market her music. Like, SZA's record label and her team are really bad. Okay, I would say they're probably just as bad as flipping Normani's. But, you know, SZA's fan base, they are very loyal. They fiend for her. Any snippet they hear, they will blow it up. They'll beg for her to release it. Not only will they beg for it, they will make that song go viral. They will make that song go Billboard top 10, Billboard top 5, unlike other fan bases where they'll beg for snippets and then when it's released, it's crickets. I really wanted a new era for SZA. Like, sure, SOS was an amazing era. It was chef's kiss. Like, I remember listening to the album and I just loved it. It was just, for me, it just hit hard. Like, it just hit really hard for me. Like, I can't even relate to the songs. Never had my heart broken, never had a heartbreak, never done any of that. But some reason, those songs, like Nobody Gets Me, like stuff like that really hits me in the heart, guys. That really, like, when I just can't describe it. I wanted a new era. I wanted something new from SZA, because I feel like deluxes nowadays, they're very different to how they used to be. Deluxes are basically just, you know, artists releasing some songs that didn't really quite cut the original album, so they're like, right, we'll give it to you on another album, we'll name it a bit different, we'll do a different cover art and just hope that they eat it up, hope that it ends up on Billboard. That's basically how deluxes are. For me, if a deluxe isn't carrying on a story, if it isn't developing something new, then personally I don't really want it. Like, yeah, some of the songs I'm just like, oh, these are cute, these are fire, and I'll get into my favorite songs from the album and my least favorite. I'm not going to talk about the songs from SOS because we already had that. I'm just going to talk about the new songs. I feel like the new songs, they had a different vibe, a different aura. It was giving more like alternative pop. Like, if I could describe the songs that I heard and I could kind of put it on a person, you know those girls who are like really stunning, right? And they're like, they have like dreadlocks or they have their natural hair out and they wear like these boho skirts. I always see it on Pinterest, but I'll put a picture. It's kind of like that in a way. If the music was a person, it'll be that girl. Like the girl who's always like in boho clothes, a little bit alternative, has dreadlocks, maybe some piercings, you know what I mean? Like that type of girl. Whereas SOS was very much R&B, very much like kind of trap R&B. She had a lot more rappers on the album, even though she did have a rapper on deluxe, but she had a lot more. She had like Don Toliver, Travis Scott, like there's another rapper, I've forgotten his name, but you know what I mean. There's a very much different sound, and I think SZA was really trying to play around with her sound a little bit more. You know, the pop rock song on SOS that no one really liked, like hate you, I've forgotten the song. It's like F and F or like F2F, something like that, but no one really liked it. It's kind of giving like that sound in a lot of the songs. In some of the songs where she goes a little bit alternative pop, I don't really like how her voice sounds with that type of genre, in my opinion. Some of the songs, I don't really like how her voice sounds with like that type of genre. But in some of the other songs where she does do the alternative, I'm like, okay, like this is cute. Makes me want to get up from my bed and dance. Like, okay, SZA, Solana, get it, girl, hey. Okay, would I say that this is better than SOS? No, you know what I mean? And everyone was fiending, everyone was wetting their panties for the SZA and Kendrick song. I listened to it and I was like, are we hearing the same thing? Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just really tired of SZA and Kendrick collabs now. Like, oh my gosh, like Like when I go on TikTok, I hear that Luther song. I didn't like that one. And then they have another song now. And then they have All of the Stars. And I feel like ever since All of the Stars, they've never been able to catch that charisma or catch that vibe. Like every collab they've done, it's just never, it hasn't done it for me. I don't like it. Like this song I just didn't like. And everyone in the comments on Twitter and X or whatever, on TikTok, they're saying, oh, Kendrick's rapping about Drake. And I read the lyrics. I'm like, how does this correlate to Drake in any way? Unless I'm missing something. But I feel like now what Kendrick has done, he's made a massive mistake. Kendrick has really made a bad mistake, and he's gonna have to do a lot of work, a lot of marketing and damage control to really remove this. But what Kendrick has done now is he has basically permanently linked himself to Drake. So anything that Kendrick says or does, everyone is going to think it's about Drake, even though when it literally isn't. Like when you look at the lyrics, what does that have to do with Drake? I'll put it on the screen. I'm just like, okay. So now he's kind of got that problem now. So anything he does, everyone just compares it to Drake. Everyone says it's about Drake, even though it's not. You know, he kind of has like the Cardi B problem, where everything Cardi B does is about Nicki. Everything Cardi B says, oh, it's shots about Nicki. Everything Cardi B does, oh, is it about Nicki? Like he kind of has that problem now. So I don't know what he's going to do to like get rid of that, but I don't know, he's kind of dug himself into a hole with that type of stuff. But I listened to the song and it was okay, it's cute. Would I add it to my playlist? No. But if it came on shuffle, like on Spotify, would I skip it? No, not necessarily, but maybe I might, depending on how I feel. But on a good day, would I skip it? No. In a bad day, probably yeah. And for some reason, I'm starting to really dislike the way that Kendrick paces his rapping, like the way that he pronounces words and paces his rapping. Like, I just don't like that, okay? I don't know what it is, especially on GNX. I listened to that album once and that'll be the last time. And now this has become like a full Kendrick review for some reason. But yeah, the song was okay. One thing I will always commend SZA for is that, like, she obviously with this alternative sound, she went out of the box, and it's really kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just for me growing up, like where I live, where I am, it was very rare for me to see black girls, especially someone like SZA's skin tone, doing like alternative pop rock. So that's why when I kind of, you know, got a bit older and I saw, you know, like Willow Smith doing pop rock and then now I'm seeing SZA doing like her alternative thing, and you see people like Rico Nasty doing their alternative thing. Like, I really do love that. I love black women doing music which isn't like quote unquote the norm, if that makes sense. Like, I love it when black women go outside of the box, like the quote unquote box. They do pop, they do alternative, they do pop rock, and I can only commend SZA for doing that, because it really is not easy, you know, because, you know, when you're a black woman, they're just like, oh, you know, you're gonna do R&B, you're gonna do soul, you're gonna do rap, depending on your skin tone, you know what I mean? So I just love to see that. Another thing I noticed is that SZA was experimenting with the vocals. Like, okay, she was giving us some high notes, she was giving us some little guys, I don't know why I'm this hyper. It's like nearly 10 o'clock. Why am I this hyper? Anyways, but I love her vocals, the way that she was like, you know, doing this high notes. Like, I love this high notes. And she was doing them on the end of the song, like towards the end. I love that. But the only thing is she going to be able to do this high notes live? Because with SZA, it's a hit or a miss, okay? It's either really good live or really bad, okay? So I remember when she came to Glastonbury over here in the UK, and it was kind of giving like, okay, it was like okay, but then when she went to Wireless, her vocals were amazing. But it's just I feel like SZA's live performances are just never consistent. It's either really, really bad and she's off key and she's out of breath, or it's really, really good. And I'm not saying that every performance needs to be 10 out of 10, but it's kind of just like you're kind of betting, you know what I mean? You're kind of betting, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? And SZA tickets are not cheap. They're like £300. I checked when she came to, I believe, was it Wireless or something? Or I can't remember. I think it was Wireless, and they were like £200-300. And paying £200-300 to hear someone sing out a tune is crazy work, okay? So if I'm paying £200 to see you, you better be singing in flipping tune. You better not be out of breath. You better do your cardio. You better be on point, is all I'm saying, because it is a lot of money that people are paying to see you, okay? So be on game. But I love those high notes. I love that. And that's something I feel like in SOS, like, we didn't really get much of a vocal range. We got more storytelling. Although we did in Lana, we did get storytelling, but I'm just saying, comparing each of the albums, we got more storytelling and less vocal complexity. And then in Lana, we got like storytelling, but then a little bit more vocals, a little bit more showing off your vocals, showing off what you got. And I love that, you know what I mean? Songs that I like from the album, I'd say BMF. Oh, I love me some BMF, baby. I love the song BMF. Kitchen. Oh my gosh, I've been playing that ever since it came out. As soon as I literally kept refreshing my Spotify to see when it came out. And I will literally, Kitchen is my favorite song. Kitchen is my favorite song from the album. And then Diamond Boy. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on Diamond Boy. I love that song. Okay, I love that a little bit less than Kitchen. Kitchen is like my number one, Diamond Boy, then BMF. But those two songs, Kitchen and Diamond Boy, are like the gems from the album in my opinion. And there's another song I forgot. I think it's called like Your Timing or something. Or Your something. I'll put it on the screen, my bad. I wouldn't say there's any bad songs on the album in my opinion. Like there's not like any horrifically bad song. Like there's none of that. Even SOS does no horrifically bad songs. But in this album, I wouldn't say there's any horrifically bad songs. I feel like they're all pretty decent. But I don't think it's any better than SOS. You know what I mean? Like it's cute. It's really, really good. I love the songs. Don't get me wrong. I've been listening to them since they come out a couple of days ago. But I just for me, SOS just has a special place in my heart. SOS is just that girl. I've been playing it since it came out in 2022. Like, no one can tell me nothing. All right. Oh, and also the cover art. I want to touch on the cover art because that is hella weird. Okay. Out of all the cover arts to use, why are you a bug, SZA? Like, why are you dressed like you are? Like, I really like the cover art, you know, where she has trees, like, around her face, like, leaves and stuff. That one was so cute. Why didn't she use that one? That one was so much better than the bug. I don't really get what the bug has to do with the album. Because when you listen to the album, I'm just like, what? How does that correlate? Like, what does that have to do? I don't know. Unless I'm just really overthinking it, which I probably am. But how does her being an alien or bug have to do anything with the album? I'm just like, okay. Okay. But anyways, that's enough for me because I've been yapping for a while. But if you liked how this video was, you know, give it a cheeky like, subscribe, comment, okay? Help a girl out, help me out so the algorithm can help me out. And that's all I got. Shalom Pop Culture out.